My name is UniteTheClans, and today we are going to be building this. This is a wood and glass A-frame cabin built one of the most beautiful spots on the map, the Redwoods Lake of the island. Waterfall in the distance, ruins nearby, and you've got this gorgeous little cabin nestled in here among the fall foliage. Stay tuned, guys, and we are going to build this thing together. So welcome back, guys. This is another building episode, and I've been having too much fun with these of late to stop. We are out here at the Redwood Lake on the island map, the original map. Take a look at the GPS if you want to find out where we are. 62 on the latitude, 35 on the longitude, and this might be the most beautiful spot on the island. It's nestled here in kind of a valley, so you don't get a whole lot of direct sunlight at the beginning of the day. But as the day goes on, we are going to really get to check this thing out. It's got gorgeous kind of crystal blue waters, and you're surrounded obviously by the redwoods. And because it's fall, this little beach has these beautiful yellow trees, and I was inspired to do a little building. And when I picture autumn, I picture the woods, and I picture cabins, and I know I've built a lot of that lately, but I would like to keep it up. So the plan for today, guys, is an A-frame cabin, which means no vertical walls. You basically start here, and you slope up to a point. You will start to recognize it as we build. So to do that, we're going to turn on our HUD, take a look at some of the items in my inventory. In most cases, there is more there than we're going to need. Alright guys, here is my location. Just so you know, I am building a 4x5 platform to build on. And I've gone ahead and built it out of wood. I think that's what's going to work best for this build. And I'll show you what I have in mind. Let's start with step 1. So go ahead and get some wood walls, guys. We're going to need a few of these in this build. Go ahead and place 2 here in the middle at the back, and we're going to flank those with some of these little sloped roofs. So I've got a few of these prepared. It should be plenty for what we need to do for this build. And as soon as I do this, you're going to get an idea of the shape that we are going for and the shape that we're going to get. So that is what we're looking like, guys. This is obviously going to end up with the roof. This is the smallest version of an A-frame cabin I could figure out. You have to be at least 4 wide to have this structure, and it's going to be quite the small place. So I wanted it to be a little longer, a little deeper. So for step 2, we are going to prepare the front. Now this shape is the only one that is essential to this build, guys. Once you have an even number width and you build up your little triangle on the end here, what you're going to want to do is just basically build as long a house as you can. For me, that was 5 foundations. If I try and go here at some point, I think I run out of space, don't I? Yeah, right there. So my goal is actually to put a front porch on this place, to have a deck, to make sure that when I put a wall in, and there's going to be a wall at around this depth here, to make sure it snaps to the right spot, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this last row. So if you're building for yourself, start with a, what would that be, a 4x4, and we'll go ahead and put these in after we've got our walls up. Now, I'm playing on my own server, so this is no big deal for me to come in and wreck this stuff. If you're building for yourself, you should be able to follow along with this build. Shouldn't be too hard. Next step, grab some... Get out of here, dude. Next step, grab some greenhouse walls, and go ahead and throw those on the front. Actually, we'll do a wall. Why don't we do a wall and a door frame? And... Actually, I'm not going to like how that looks, am I? Let's do 2 door frames. I just want symmetry with this place. I don't want... anything looking too out of place. And then we'll head down this end. We'll put one of these left slopes here and another up here, and we'll grab the right slopes, and we'll finish off the shape. And now with that done, we can go ahead and put our last row of foundations on the front. And this is going to be a little front porch. We'll eventually have maybe a ramp coming off the front of it here. But the only issue you run into when you're building between 2 sets of foundations is the piece jumping back and forth, and you'll end up with things off center. So that's why I waited to build these. So that is the next step. So this is what the place should be looking like at the moment, guys. I know your next instinct is to put a roof on this, but before you do, there are a few things to think about. Now, we are going to want a fireplace in here. And just in case it's difficult to get a good view, for example, if you're trying to place a fireplace, I like to crouch, get it roughly where I want it, and then I'll use my K camera. And I'll zoom out and try and see just how straight I am. Now oh, I don't know what I did this time, guys. Oh, Lord. There you go. So you can see just how straight you are, guys. And if there was a roof in place, this would be a little harder. So let me get this chimney lined up and we'll move on. All right, guys, welcome back to, what is it, the second segment of this episode where this place has looked more or less like this in a row. We've added a fireplace, a cabin, obviously not at home without one. We don't need to do much more of the interior, though. For what I have in mind, we're going to keep this place cozy and minimalist because it is a small build. So I don't want to get too carried away with the interior. We're going to get ourselves started with a roof. I feel like this place does need skylights. It does need glass to get some natural light in here. Now, my favorite pattern of that was having it directly above your head. And I don't know if we're going to do that in the middle or down the whole length of the cabin yet. So let's go ahead and do this bottom row. And there are 4 interior ones for me. Depending on how long you built yours, guys, it could be different. And we got one outside here as well. And this is cool. This is what is going to give this that A-frame cabin feel. I think at least for our porch, we want to cover this section here with wood. So let's go ahead and back up and see. You guys are starting to get a clue. You're starting to get an idea of what this should look like. And it is going to look neat. Now, the funny thing with Ark is the way the angles are, this isn't as steep as your standard A-frame cabin. It's a little, I don't know, flatter and wider. So I'm going to do what we did on that side, on this side, and I'll be right back. If at all possible, you might want to try this from the air. Now, I'm on my own server, so I could totally fly, but to do this in a way that, I don't know, is more doable for some of you guys who aren't admins on your servers, go ahead and call a bird. Now, for me, let's see if we can whistle this Tapahara over here. I don't think so. Come here, you big idiot. Now, if you guys are looking to make a symmetrical build, there are a couple ways you might want to do it. Now, we could go ahead and place our glass here and in the next couple spots. So we'd have 3 across the middle. Now, in the interior, that wouldn't be symmetrical because we've got an extra chunk of wall hanging off the front. So one option you could do is add walls to the back like this. Now this adds symmetry where we didn't have it before. And let me fly up like we were. And we'll go ahead and put a couple of these in there. So that would free us up to have a big glass roof on this place. Now I don't know if we want this much. I think what we're going to do is go 2 by 2 when it comes to the glass roof. So let's get this guy up here and we'll put another one right there. I'll hop up, and he's almost too quick, this bird, this Tapahara. Almost too speedy for me. I keep wanting to set him down. So let's do that. We'll get one here, and one here. And I think this is exactly what we're going to want, guys. So I'm going to put this in like so. And we'll put 2 more in. And you know, the funny thing is I don't have any issues with snapping points when I'm on the back of this thing. Everything works exactly like it's supposed to. I love it. Okay. So, I think that's our roof. Guys, let's go take a look from the inside, and then we will work on decorating the inside. So this is what we've gone with for our skylights, and I'm really excited to take a look at how it looks on the inside. You know what we need right now is some ramps. And a boom. Okay, we got some ramps on the front, guys, and that helps out our deck. If I were thinking about it, I might go ahead and add a little bit of wooden railing here. And here to close this in. The only reason I didn't is that they were going to end up sticking through the roof, and I'd rather maintain this really cool A-frame shape. So let's go ahead inside and take a look at this sunlight, and I think I love it. I do love it. I did one build on an old Primitive Plus server I played on with Monkey Puzzle and Alexis Arcade and a few people over there, and one of the places I built had a skylight roof. It was mostly wood. I actually really only built the roof to that place, but the point is, I've been wanting to recreate this for a while, and I think it looks great. Ignore the immersion ruining candy corn dropping from the sky. This is a beautiful autumn cabin, and there's no silly Halloween stuff going on. Stupid Halloween update dropping dang candy corn in the backyard. Messing up my themed episode. It's supposed to be autumn. not some ridiculous candy corn. Get wrecked. So that's what we're looking like. Alright, now what do we do with the front? Wooden door. Oh, I don't think I like it. I don't think I like it. That's alright, we got more options. It's too rustic. Do we go glass door? Definite possibility, but that is almost too... That feels too... Listen to that, how that sounds. You don't want to be coming home and listening to that. Let's try one other option. There you go. Reinforced wood. That's the ticket right there. Ready? That is such a much better noise. Okay, perfect. We figured out what doors to put on the front. Now, that's up to you guys. You may not have the same problems with some of the sounds in this game as I do. But let's try reinforced doors on the front. And I think that looks good. I like it. Good lord, that is magnificent. I love this roof. Okay, so it's time for the interior, guys. Now, because this is a really simple build, we're going to try out a couple different things. Now, I've had different ideas of how I would do this because you have this weird little space and it's barely usable. So, what I'm thinking in option 1 is to close it off. Maybe we hide some storage back there. Maybe you hide who knows what back there. Maybe you keep your dodos or your shoulder pets back there. So in option 1, we're going to try this out. Let's go ahead and grab some ladders. And we'll go ahead and grab some railings too. So with the ladders, I'm wondering, guys, if we can get these into a spot where they might look like they're helping divide the room. Now, these are the kind of things that I want to get into playing in Ark. I remember in the early days of Minecraft, you'd have YouTubers figuring out ladders aren't just for climbing. Ladders can be used as a cool decorative thing. And I want to try and incorporate some of that stuff. You don't see a whole lot of it in Ark. So with those in place, how would this look if we then close this off? Would this look like an enclosed area? It does. It's kind of cool. And I bet you could put some storage back there. So here's the thing, guys. If you were going to try and hide some storage in there, you totally can. You can do it even after you put your ladders in to try and judge what distance you want to hide this storage at. But once you get behind the railings, you can't really place the storage. You got to get in some weird positions to try and do it. So I think that is a viable way to decorate this room. Cordon it off like stables. Hide some storage back there. Legitimate option number 1 for the interior. Let's work on another option. So you could just close the whole little room off here, guys. It would be a neat way to try and deal with the problem. And you could do it pretty easily. Now, the only problem that I would notice with this, if I flip that, is that things are going to look weird from the outside. It's actually not going to look that weird. It doesn't look that weird. It kind of looks alright from the outside. So that's one option. If you just find that weird little space useless, get rid of it. Another thing you could do, guys, is the same deal, but with door frames. So door frames are another way of separating the space. You could fill that little gap with doors. You could go ahead and hide more storage back there. You could hide some lighting back there. You really got lots of options. And when you see what this place looks like with walls on it, you get an idea that it doesn't feel much smaller. You're just losing these tiny little spaces off to the side. But in my design, guys, I think I want to try and incorporate them. So let's see what we can do. Alright guys, the rain is really coming down here at this majestic spot. We got an interior to do, and after doing a few variations on an interior, before this, I want to get to one that is going to work for you guys. It's going to be practical. Now, not like your main base practical. Most of you guys who have been playing Ark for a while aren't going to try and do a build this small and squeeze in a generator and a fabricator and other expensive gear. But if you're playing on a PvE server where building pretty things like this out of glass and wood is cool, then you want to, sometimes you need an outpost. You need a home away from home, and that's the kind of place we need this to be. So I'm not going to go nuts with any sort of gear for building tools or for prepping things, but I'm going to give you what you need if you're traveling and you need a place to sleep, warm up, and refill your belly. So this is a key moment in a build, guys. I think it's done. And we're going to step in and take a look for ourselves. What I wanted with this place was a beautiful glass and wood A-frame cabin here in the Redwoods. We did it in the Redwoods of the island, and that's what we got. And we got this beautiful, gorgeous yellow fall backdrop right on the edge of this lake. And this is one of my favorite spots on the whole map. You can just start to see the color of this lake shining through. You can see ruins and a waterfall in the distance. I love it here, guys. So let's take a look inside the build. Got reinforced wooden doors here, and I like it. Leads you to a very simple interior. We got a spot to brew your brews. You can cook your food just outside there, and you got a spot to bed down. We got sleeping bags everywhere. We got storage for each of the tired travelers that make their way out to this cabin in the woods, and you got a fireplace to keep you warm at night. Guys, that does it for this build. Thank you so much for checking this out. My name is UniteTheClans. If you like what you see, take a look in the cards in the top right corner, or have a look around the videos I've recently posted to my channel, guys. I like to build a lot, and if you like to watch that kind of stuff, consider sticking around. I'm here on my very own server, and I'm going to be doing a lot of building. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next build.